Morning. I left my classrooms in 1992 and coming back to a classroom again after 31 years. I thought something would have changed. At least a freedom to get a tea break would have been allowed. But but I see in Indian conditions the parents continue to behave like parents and don't change. So nevertheless, I'll keep it short because I think the purpose of today's presentation is there's enough and more intelligence, and Chat GPT doesn't solve it anymore for people like us. It only complicates our life trying to tell that everyone knows everything. Why are you wasting your time here? So we'll keep it simple and use this one. Use this one. Up down. Yeah. So I'll just take the liberty to give you of what disruption is, what we are seeing. So if you look at some of these companies in the new age which have come through, and you can see their valuations change. Right, this is right in front of you. I did not read. This is all data which is right in front of you. I'm particularly intrigued on two things, which is Airbnb and Uber, and in the Indian case, Zomato and Nykaa, which have come much later and created a differential value which the market perceives. If you look at the market cap of, I've just taken the liberty to compare some of the market caps. If you look at Uber, the market cap is about $95 billion. The price to sales is 2.7x. So it's a price to sales multiple. A lot of valuation professionals here to look at. However, if you look at the price to sales of Volkswagen is 0.2, okay, 13 times, or rather 13x of, you can multiply it and see there's actually a big differential there. Same applies for Zomato. You can see that. The 2x of what a Jubilant could. Jubilant also delivers your pizza right at your home, food home. But look at what Zomato, a service offering which is far more comprehensive gets a valuation in the Indian context. Gold companies, gold jewelry is very much in fashion these days, and there is ongoing talk that gold jewelry is going to be a very interesting sector. So if you look at Barrick Gold, which is a global gold company, trades as a PE of 22x. Our homegrown Titan trades at a PE of 90 times of value. Okay, buys gold, you can buy jewelry, return it back to them. They give a full service. Look at kind of valuations which a single company like Titan talks about. So what is happening basically? I don't think banking and financial services people were wise. I think a lot of us were forced to look into this disruption. It essentially came from consumer services because most of the consumption of finance is in the hands of the consumer. A lot of people like you and me. And what do we want? We want whatever we are doing from banking finance to be relevant to us. Okay, it should be super easy to use. Whatever you want to do it in the background. Don't ask me 50 questions. Deliver services based on my lifestyle. Don't come and tell me something which I don't need. You must anticipate and deliver what I need. Data security. If there's a data breach, you don't go back to that website again. You don't go to that application again. And you want the institution to be accountable for what it provides. This led to a big challenge of what we call as customer experience. And today in the customer experience world, there's only two things which truly matter. Although Dr. Varun added the impact of environment and social as well, governance. But I will focus on, I'll keep that aside for maybe a next session. But I'll focus as far as BFSI is concerned on hyper-personalization and zero friction. When it comes to hyper-personalization, people are looking our services to be accessible. You want to access the bank 24/7. Okay, you want it to be affordable. You don't want to pay excessive charges. You want to keep it very simple, very neat and clean. You want it to be appropriate, apt for me. You want it to be trusted. When it comes to dealing with the bank, you want seamless and composite service. If you've taken a savings bank account, you don't want to fill the same form for a credit card. If you have a credit card and you are taking let's say an auto loan, you don't want to refill the same information. You want very simplified UI UX. You want it to be interactive. I have written the word optionally because you don't want us to be bombarding you. You want to interact at so if you are wanting to interact, I should be available, not the other way around. And a lot of this A lot of the journey should be embedded there. So once I've done, let's say, one journey, it should be intuitive enough to prompt you for something else, which you may be wanting to do. For example, if you open a savings bank account, I should be able to prompt you for maybe a demat account, maybe a PL, maybe something else, maybe a LAS, maybe an investment account. Now, I just have taken the liberty to share with you why is this happening. If you look at the average US banking, I've just taken a little bit of liberty to take you to the US markets. US banking average score for customer loyalty on a banking side is 23, the fintech is 83. And this is where the major disruption is happening. Why? If you look at the banking spend and that is why today to catch that, banks are overspending on technology. So average bank spend is about 11% of the total OPEX is an IT spend. Can you guess the number in India by any chance? Anyone else? Is actually between 1 and 2%. Is actually between 1 and 2% depending on what you take, but this is a tech spend in India. Look at the tech spend they are doing to stay ahead in the game. If you look at banks per se, apart from two banks, I would say maybe three. It is, let's say, JP Morgan, Chase, Bank of America, and I would say Morgan Stanley. Rest payment companies are far ahead, which is either MasterCard and Visa, both of them. Now, why is this whole fight for fintech? Look at the profit pool for fintech. There was talk of value. While we all talk of societal value and environmental value, but there's nothing to beat first the economic value, because that is very, very important. So there's a huge profit pool here, which is 2.3 trillion worth, which is what everyone is fighting for. The largest profit pool here. Now, come to the question here, which Gaurav asked: where is the value going to get created? A large part of the value is going to get created out of fintech, which currently is essentially, if you look at this, is at 9%, okay, today, but it will go up to 25%. This is the largest value creator because it's going to make life simple for everyone. Now, I've taken some liberty to quote the same study which Gaurav spoke about, and say where are we in the AI maturity, in the artificial AI journey, where are we on the maturity scale? And I've chosen to highlight the reds as far as the Indian context are concerned. Okay, and I'll pose some questions to you. We are the largest supplier of IT pool talent in the country, but our biggest challenge within the banking sector, you'll be surprised, is people itself. We have the largest data analytics pool, which we are out of Europe, but data algos is a big problem at our end as well. Why? Because data itself is a problem. I'll give you a live example. Your first account, some of you opened in a bank would be in the 90s, right? Most likely. I can see a lot of old people here, right? Okay. Your income captured at that time was based on 1995, let's say, take example. How many people update that information? How many banks go back and ask for an updation of either your residence, updation? We are forced to do KYC, and KYC exercise is taken as a form filling exercise. Sir, the bug, I don't know, I'll use Hindi. आप जल्दी आ जाओ सर, KYC करना है, एक आप आधार दे दो, KYC हो जाएगा. We just do it, but we are not doing the KYC, which is what is supposed to do. So that is where the problem of data arises. Is change an easy journey? I can tell you, I don't know what Srirang will tell you, but change, I think, is possibly the most difficult journey about human beings to get done. At every place today, when we want change, is very difficult, and Dr. Varun was talking about it. The biggest challenge is the learning curve of Indian professionals today. You are a lot of MBA educators sitting here. My only request to all of you, when you leave, tell people that when they pass out of your schools, they don't have an eligibility certificate for a lifelong pension. So they do not pass out with an eligibility certificate for a lifelong pension. They're only good enough, that qualification is to get into an entry door of a nightclub. Rest, you got to pay for your drinks. You got to pay for everything else inside. The entry ticket is only passed. But a lot of people who pass out today and we come back to work with us, we find, and I'm sure Srirang will echo this sentiment at some point in time when he speaks, the point is that they come with an eligibility certificate. Sir, I was a topper in this class. I was first. And there are people who still come to us and say, sir, I was, 30 years I've done banking. But are you relevant? So change is a big challenge. So is technology. Why technology a big challenge? Because technology, let's say, we implemented certain journeys 3 years back in the bank. Today, when you look at, they're not agile. They're not responsive. That is a big challenge. Now, coming to, laggards and leapfroggers, and I've again chosen to highlight 3 basic key challenges. One is the challenge on data quality. 2, we do not have well integrated service providers. So somebody gives one part of the engine, somebody will give other part of the engine, third one will give third part of the. You need to really stitch it through. The technology of one part of the engine to the second part of the engine, the third part will be completely different. So UI, UX, customer experience goes for a toss. So that integrated service provider doesn't exist. And as far as data and business teams are concerned, seamless working is an aspiration, because business believes problems with technology, technology believes the problems is with business. This is the problem which we are facing. Are we in a journey? Yes, we are in a journey. What has happened in the US, which is a little ahead better than India? Because the tech sector, the tech talent was a little more, they took birth a little ahead of us. So they have been reforming a lot more faster, which is why you say, whether you see a PayPal today, or you see some of the good companies like Square and Stripe, they have been able to bring in a lot more solutions, which is customer facing. I'll talk about that later. Now you come to this, what are the challenges banking is going to have in India and how it is getting solved. One of the biggest thing I would like to say, is data oil or water? This question will get raised at some point. We think with DPI, with the digital public infrastructure, it is going to be literally water. It is going to be available to everyone and it is going to be ubiquitous. Privacy laws have come in, so you can't use any data which is not usable. Any large company is not going to take the risk of using that data. I talked about regulatory framework, crypto, CBDCs, right in front of you. So making transaction costs easier and cheaper. Data analytics layer is coming in, and we are putting a lot of talent as banks. We are hiring a lot of people within data analytics and bringing that. That is a core need for banks today. If you can supply talent, that is where the talent is required. We are moving a lot of our data, which is in disaggregated systems, into a data lake. This is exactly here. And legacy systems, which we all acquired. Today, most interestingly, within the banking sector, you will realize that the older the bank, it is a disadvantage because while it is a trusted bank, but the systems are monolithic in nature. Lastly, coming to where is the growth going to come from? What is going to be the future for banking largely, and where do you see people are required? They will be required in embedded finance. Embedded finance is the area to grow. All our financing will get embedded either in the POS machine where you get a BNPL, or you will get into real time. You're taking override. You may be doing some other financial transactions, so on and so forth. The whole thing of I'm coming to financial infrastructure. Whole thing will be a service at some point of time, which means the whole KYC journey will become a service, a centralized service, like a KRA today we have. We will get into a service like that. The most important thing I will talk about is this whole value chain, and I've just taken a rise. When you look for a home today, whether you are searching a home, whether it is the whole judgment, decision making, I think I was hearing Dr. Varun talk about the whole thing of judgment. So fintech, AI, and everything which is around this, including machine learning, is all going to help you in decision making. And the whole thing is about a value chain. And value chain means, I'll just take a minute to explain to you today. When we are looking at mortgage today, can there be let's say, an application that allows you, let's say we are in Andheri, tell us within, let's say, a budget of 1.5 crores, can I buy a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom? Which street? Okay. What is the vintage of the building? Okay. How good let's say the building is in terms of interiors and so on and so forth. how much down payment I need to make, can you on the same page, if I like the, if what the views are, can you, basically have a 360-degree view from an apartment sitting at your home? Can you, after you've done that, can you also process and give me, and within the same budget, 3-4 other options within the nearby localities? Are schools available there nearby? After that, let's say once you've done that and taken through a journey, then you are asking, can I make a loan application with 3 banks? Which is giving the cheapest interest rates? What is the down payment? What is the EMI? Okay. If I'm interested, can I go to get a loan approval very quickly depending on it? I have got a loan approval now. Can I register this? Okay. With the, what is the time I can register and get this property? Can I inspect the property, fix a time and inspect the property? So that is a large mortgage value chain we are talking about. Imagine all of you do house searches. If that value chain ever existed, will you not be a part of that value chain? And this is not the only value chain. SMEs today, healthcare today, a lot of value chains are exactly what we are talking about, very similar nature. Which is what, you need to have a proactive and forward thinking. And very truly, I think the small and MSME, the micro, small and medium enterprises are the biggest customers for this kind of problem solving as well. Because an entrepreneur who runs it has to run 50 other things, including, as we can, painful filings, accounting, HR, loyalty, so on and so forth. So a lot of that can be run, which is what, Square has done in the US. So similar solutions need to come onshore. Lastly, at the bank, what are we trying to do? Ultimately, if this is a problem, we'll be trying to solve it. So we have taken a couple of, steps to solve it. For example, Expressway is a platform within the bank where you can go, just apply. If you're a bank customer, you can, apply for that 25 journeys, rather services which are available on Expressway. You clean your telephone number and you are right, you can go through because we can identify who you are. Similar in PayZapp is like a digital wallet. You can load, you can pay, link to credit card, link to debit card, you can do that. And Vyapar is our hub, which for MSMEs. WhatsApp banking, then we have cardless easy EMI, which is BNPL. HDFC Sky is our 20 rupees, product on which you can basically transact at 20 rupees, like a, cheaper version of brokerage option. And we are launching similar properties. So if you see, this is our journey to become relevant to our customers, okay? And I'll end by only saying that we all from BFSI believe that this is a continuous learning journey. As a professional, whoever passes out, I think very important that we continue to see this as a challenge and solve these problems day in and day out. To be relevant to a customer, which is you, we got to learn continuously, and I don't think learning can stop at any stage. And the day the learning stops, value creation stops. So I'll pause here and hand it over back.
Thank you.